Hello and welcome to Make It Make Sense. I am Jamara J. Smith.
You still haven't made your hands make sense. That just is ridiculous hand motion. We don't need all of that.
Today we're going to be discussing, do you cuss out your kids?
Absolutely, daily, just to make sure. I don't consider it cussing. I consider it kirking. I kirk my children.
That's exactly why I wanted to discuss today's topic, because gospel artist Kirk Franklin was caught on video using profanity. What do you think about that?
I love it. I love it. I actually went out and bought more Kirk Franklin albums right after that. I was like, that's a gospel artist after my own heart. First of all, he wasn't cussing his child out. He was cussing his offspring out. That man was 33 years old. He was. So if he had been 7, 6, some of that nature, then absolutely Kirk would have been wrong. Mm-hmm. But at 33, now behold these hands.
My thing is, what was the issue that got him so upset to make him even want to use those words?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
No, once your 33-year-old man decides he wants to act out, Kirk felt disrespected in some sort of way. Seems as though he was being calm at first, but once you push him to, I will break your neck! it takes a minute. It takes a minute. And Kirk reset during the call. Because if you pay attention to the call, Kirk was at one level. He had told him immediately, I will put my foot in places that it doesn't belong. Okay. I will turn your body into a Converse, is what he pretty much told him. Kirk got money, so maybe even a Balenciaga. But Kirk told him in the beginning where he'll place his foot. The son decided to keep on going. And then once he did that, he earned everything that came to him. Okay. Now people still think it's dysfunctional, but there's so much I could say about that. But yeah, Kirk ain't do nothing wrong.
Well, I was just even reflecting on how I parent, and I just started to wonder, had I ever gotten that mad?
You probably cussed your kids out a few times. I know they daddy.
I know, well, he has, but I personally, I have never gotten to the point where I just use profanity at my kids. Now, I have gotten very upset, yelled and screamed, raised my voice and want to put paws on them, but as far as with using profanity, no, I haven't gotten to that point.
So here's the thing. And there's going to be some church people that's going to be mad at me. And you might not even agree with me.
Probably not.
But cuss words are not God or man ordained. I mean, God ordained. Those are just man-made words. We decide what cuss words are. There ain't nothing you cannot find, well, first of all, I don't think you have cuss words in the Bible. But there is not a specific, so first of all, there's that language that they spoke in initially. We have decided as a societal norm what a cuss word is. That's not anything that's biblical. We just decide, the Bible says that you don't curse people. So the cursing is completely different. That's a completely different thing. We make up cuss words.
You make up cuss words.
How do I make up cuss words?
Listen,
it's a man-made thing. There's no book that says this is a cuss word, this is not a cuss word. God don't say this is a cuss word, this isn't a cuss word.
There's a lot of things that the Bible doesn't specifically say, but we know it's wrong. And we know it's wrong to use that kind of language at our children. Not grown men and women, but at our children. Because you don't want to make your child feel so low that you go low and make them feel a certain kind of way because you're using those words. It's a way to handle a situation where you don't have to go that far. And if you lose control and you get to that point, then there's something wrong with you. You got to look.
I don't think he was out of control.
On yourself. I'm talking about as parents in general when you're dealing with disciplining your kids.
Kirk was in full control when he cussed that man out. That was a controlled cuss out. So what I'm telling you about the words, sometimes we get hung up on stuff that's not even what's important. So now, to me, what you're saying is if you lose control and talk to your children harshly, that's the issue. I can chew my child out in a way. I could have said everything in there without peppering it with the proper adjectives. You could have still told them. So what's more to me, what would be more problematic is I'm going to break your neck. I'm going to put my foot up your hind parts.
That before. My parents have said it to me all the time. I'm the
so because he didn't say
and whooped all the time.
So him saying I will break your neck is not an issue until he says I will break your effing neck. Now that's an issue.
That is an issue because of the language.
It's the same neck.
It's the same thing. Words
it's
matter.
It's the same threat.
Words matter.
What's the difference in the threat?
The difference is you use the profanity. You're using profanity instead of using your words. It's a way that you can handle
I will break your neck is no different. I will break your neck is no different than I will break your neck.
First of all, we know you're not gonna break our neck. That's just a figure of speech. You're not really gonna do it. You're not gonna kill us.
No, Kirk was gonna break that boy neck. That boy,
Now,
33 years old. That was a neck break. See, as a man, I know the difference between an idol. I'll break your neck, and in real life, I'm fitting to break your neck. Okay. If that boy, even though we know Kirk can't reach anybody's neck, had that boy been close enough, that was not an idol neck break. But that's the whole thing. So we getting caught up on that he used these words rather than the actual "I'm gonna break your neckness."
I'm not talking about the words. I'm talking about how you discipline and talk to your child. That's where my issue is. Why did he have to lose control?
That boy's 33.
I'm speaking about parents in general. Not
now, if people cuss their 8-year-old out, I got an issue. If you cuss your 12-year-old out, I got an issue. If you got an 18 to 21-year-old, that's still a push for me on the cuss out stage. Yeah. But as far as a grown man, once you become a grown man, then you got to cut it off. Here's the thing, and I'm heavy on this in this particular season of my life. So when we start talking about one of the things that I believe that the panorama did for us is it gave us an ability to reflect on stuff and reset. Mm-hmm. So I'm heavy on if they are toxic, they are toxic. I'm not associating they're toxic, but they my kid. They toxic, but they my aunt. They toxic, but they just a person I know at work. We can't let people kill us regardless of who it is.
That is true.
So many times we start separating. Oh, we have to continue to accept them and accept this behavior and do this because they're our child. Oh, we have to do that because that's your auntie, that's your cousin. No, cuss them out, move on, have your freedom. Because what we start doing is we letting people kill us, whether it be our kids, whether it be our aunts, our parents, and we dying because of the abuse that we take from them or the relationship that we build with them. I really believe. Listen, you can long handle spoon your child.
I agree.
It does not mean that I love my child any less if I set up a standard and barriers and keep them over there.
Just don't cuss at them.
Man, they can catch these hands. They can cuss. That's the thing. If we talking about we'll put hands on them, if we'll do this, I think that's worse than anything. I have not put hands on my daughter before.
What about your son? Because see, it's different.
My son only had to catch these hands one time, and I ain't never hit him. I just picked him up, put him up against the wall, and I think that scared him enough that he was like, yeah, this dude, he ain't got it all.
Well, I don't know how many times Isaiah got spanked. It's too many to count. It's pretty much, it was every week. Now, Alexis, you could just look at my daughter, you could just look at her and she'll get right.
So my thing is, if you got to beat somebody every week.
Well, it wasn't me doing it.
I'm just saying personally, if you got to beat them every week, is the beating really working? So I already know with me, I ain't care about it. When I was growing up, if you're going to come put hands on me, it's whatever. I'm going to survive it. I'm good. I'm tough enough to take it. It's not going to change my behavior. So, like, we try to use the threat of physical harm with kids, and what I'm realizing is that we're not doing anything successful. For example, if you go to a prison right now, I bet you everybody in that prison is like, yeah, my mom and daddy beat me.
Right.
My mom will put hands. So that means that the beating did not do anything to change your course.
Well,
the beating didn't change your behavior.
It depends on the person because I myself, I'm the oldest of 4 and I got spanked for stuff that I did. I got spanked for what my sisters did because I was the oldest. I was told that I had to set the example. So if they messed up, it was on me. And I got spanked for even just the littlest thing. And I can see how that really benefited me growing up. But this is the thing. You do what you were taught. So if you're spanked, you're naturally going to think that that's the best way to discipline your child. But hindsight is 20/20 because now when I have my grandkids or if I have any more children, I personally don't want to spank my kids. You evolve.
First of all, you don't need to be having more kids.
First of all, I am still a fertile age and I am still young.
It ain't about
I am going to get married. If
it ain't about your fertility.
Kids, I'm going to give him babies.
Whoever married Jamar, y'all better not knock her up. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Let that club be unshot.
Why?
That's what rule number 1 because it's not about your right now. This is what people don't understand about having children. I done talked to Esau about this. Our producer Esau's in the building. I done talked to him about this before. It's not about the right now.
What are you talking
about? It's about the 10 years from now.
I get that.
And then when you out there on a walker trying to watch that child play soccer,
I'm not doing it.
Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for all that. You can still be out there.
So much and
you can still be out there trying to be the sexy granny. Ain't nobody got time for that. I'm telling you right now, I just had a conversation right now, and I am of a certain age. I'm gonna tell you right now, I wish I could just remove all my sperm, just get rid of it. I'm thinking about going to vasectomy route for when I start sinning, because you got plans of marriage. Mine is probably just gonna be sin based. So what I'm just trying to tell you is, mine's just gonna be my loins. My loins I need to release. So what I'm telling you is,
children, and I love being pregnant.
I love mine.
If my husband wants a child, I'm going to give him a child.
Look here, I hope whoever you find, his testes have dried up to raisins, and they can't do it. I'm trying to save you from your own self.
No, I'm fully aware. I have thought this out.
You have not. This foolishness you are talking is ridiculous. You know what happened to women when they have them babies at an upper age? Nothing but bed rest. You is laying down the whole time. You don't want to lay down for 9 months.
Well, see, this is the thing. Alexis was a very easy pregnancy.
Okay, and you let that one fool you.
She tricked me. She did, because Isaiah was the complete opposite. I was on bed rest. I had morning sickness the entire 9 months. It was crazy.
And you told somebody like being pregnant.
I do.
Foolishness.
I love it.
Foolishness. Lord, bind her loins.
I bind that and curse to the root. Okay,
you take her ovaries, Lord, and make them resistant.
No.
Let all them little swimmers be shot away. Put Matumbo in her ovaries, and he block all of them.
Am I not a good mother?
It has nothing to do. You are an excellent mother. You are an amazing mother. And what you need to be doing at this point in your life is wind down. You got 2 virile children out there. Let them go have some babies. You don't need to be having nothing.
2 grown kids.
Let them kids get out there and do all they want to. Isaiah strong backed it, ready to go.
Yeah.
Let his quiver be full. Let him go out there and do it. And then you can grandma and get rid of them.
It's up to my husband.
You are at the age where you need to be turning them children on to their proper owner. You don't need to be trying to keep no cheering. You don't.
We'll see what the Lord do. It's up to him.
Dear God, it is me.
Why do you want me to not have kids so much?
Because I care about your future.
Look, I thought about
you ain't at a snapback age. I'm telling you right now.
Oh, really? You want to go there?
You not. That thing'll never be right ever again. I'm telling you.
Don't do it.
Them children at the later ages, they don't come out the same way they did the first time. They coming through tearing stuff up. You ain't
I serve a God that is capable of doing anything.
And he is, but we shouldn't put all this stuff on his table. There are some cups we need to pass from the Lord. Leave that alone, having these babies at an older age. I bet you'll be cussing them then. I bet you that.
Cletus, let me be great.
And this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to keep you right here at greatness. That's the problem. If you ever watch sports, Esau, you ever watch sports, and you know it's an athlete. I bring him in almost every episode. And isn't there always a guy that somebody should have told him to stop? It happens in boxing all the time. It's a guy that feels like he's still on the top of his game, and he can handle it. And what happened? He run out there first round knockout. Tarnishes his old image. Listen, we didn't need Washington Wizards Jordan.
Wow.
Somebody should have talked to him and been like, hey, Chicago Bulls Jordan is all we need. Greatness. But then we let them get Washington Wizards Jordan, and don't nobody want to talk about those days. Okay. I am here as a friend to tell you, shut them ovaries down.
And to let me live my best life.
And that's what I'm trying to help you do, live your best life, which don't include no toddlers, no terrible twos, no potty training, none of that.
Cletus, it is up to me and my husband, and that is that.
Okay, well, I'm going to talk to him. Because it ain't no way you're going to get all the way to marriage without me meeting the dude. And I'm going to be like, look here, cuz.
That's true.
She has plans.
I do have
on
plans.
turning you down. Don't let it happen. I'm telling you right now. I'm a grown man about mine. I ain't got no business being out there 60 years old watching the kid. And then every game, you're going to be all upset because somebody come up to you, ooh, which baby is your grandbaby? You be like, that's my child.
How long do you plan on living, Cletus? Like,
until the end. Listen, as a black man, I'm already past my expiration date. So even if I get to 80, even if I get to a solid 80, I plan on having some great grands around that time. I don't have no time for me to be bringing in no new ones.
Well, that's true.
No.
I plan on living a long, fulfilling life.
Absolutely. And at some point of that, I need to be able to fulfill by living it up with no responsibilities.
You're going to always have responsibilities.
And if I get married, the only responsibility I got is that heifer. So that's all I want.
What if she has a baby? Like, what if she has a toddler? You meet her and she has a toddler.
Oh, then she's not on the list. God know I ain't marrying her. Appreciate you. We can go out to eat a few times.
Okay.
And then you go on home.
But what if that's your God ordained wife? That's who God has.
Because God knows better. He's all knowing and all seeing.
And that's
that cup that he's passing.
What if he says that's the wife?
He's not gonna say it. I know him. I know him.
I have learned to just live and let live.
I know my God, and what he's gonna not let live is a whole new baby for me.
Okay.
Man, because that makes no sense. Look, we've been in here. Let me tell y'all what doesn't make sense. We don't need to continue toxic traits simply because that's what's always been in our lives. If you decide that you want to use corporal punishment on your children, that's fine. But we have to sometimes be mindful of what the results of that are going to be. Like you said, that passes on from generation to generation. When we start talking about curse breaking, maybe that's one of the things that we need to break as far as curses. And the other thing that I want us to do, man, is get away from the negative, man. Whatever's negative in your life, man, we don't live long enough. You ask how long do I want to live? I want to live long enough to enjoy this world, man. I want this world to be heaven and not just continue to try to get to one. As I do believe the Bible says that I did not come to condemn the world, but that the world through me can have this everlasting life. So I want it to be better for me. I want it to be better. So, man, when I say everlasting life, I don't mean keep having babies. I mean, I want you to go ahead, because that makes none. Lord, that makes 0 sense. No babies for her.
Oh my goodness, Cletus. We're going to let God make that decision.
Lord, get in there and snip, clip, and burn. Snip, clip, and burn, my Lord. Hey, tune in again next week, man, when Jamara is over this baby fever, man.
I do have baby fever.
Yeah, get over that thing. I think that might be a sign of COVID or something. Let it ride. Go ahead and sign out, man. Let them know how to get in the JAMFAM.
I am Jamara J. Smith, and you can find me on all social media platforms.
And I'm Cletus Cassidy, not trying to knock nothing up. We'll be back again next week, man, with another episode of Make It Make Sense.
Bye.